Forgive him? Actually, he didn't do anything wrong. Please, let him off the hook. But from now on, you'd better behave yourself. Now get lost."
"Thank you, sir."
Riley walked away with Cindy. "Thank you, boss. I'll head back up to my office. Hey, what's your name?" "My name is Kevin. Kevin Williams." He followed Lily back to her new place. "I thought you were still in jail. What did you do to get out so fast?" "I was the one who found him and asked him to come back home with me. Don't forget that Kevin is my husband. Now that he's been released, of course I'll take him back." "I want you to go and get your divorce papers tomorrow." "How could I ever divorce Kevin? Didn't you tell me that Nolan Hill was a good catch?" "Mom, he means nothing to me." Dorothy didn't know anything about what had happened with Nolan. Lily had never mentioned any of it to her because she didn't want her mother to worry. "Come with me, Mom," Lily said as she grabbed Dorothy's hand and took her upstairs. After about 10 minutes, Kevin got up and walked into the kitchen. Once he'd had a good look around, Kevin took out the secret guide that the director had given him to prepare for his mission at the school. According to the book, your body was the best tool you could use. After a while, he decided to go through the cabinets and whip up a meal for Lily and her mother. Dorothy and Lily came back downstairs again. After they finished eating, they went back to their rooms. The next morning, Kevin stepped into the classroom just before the bell rang. Professor Murdoch walked in with all her teaching materials and settled in at the podium. Kevin checked to see if anyone was looking and sneaked his phone out of his pocket. "This is Miranda. Kevin, come over here if you can. Dalton's back in the hospital." It was Dominic and Gwen Archer. What Kevin didn't know was that the Archers had always been jealous of Dalton's family. He immediately sent Gwen Archer a message. "How the hell could you do that to the Steele family?" Before he could read her reply, the professor took Kevin's phone and walked back to the podium. "I'm disappointed in you, Kevin." The professor tossed Kevin's phone onto the table, and then she had an idea. "I think it's time for us to choose a student leader. As long as you're all going to be in the same class, I think you should get to know each other socially. So I've decided to treat you to dinner." As soon as she finished speaking, one of the students stood up to address the class. It was Michael Tripp, a young stud from Detroit. "We couldn't possibly let you treat us, Professor. In fact, I'll treat the whole class to dinner, in your honor." He was also trying to buy votes for the election. He really wanted to be the student leader.
"Professor Murdoch, I think Mike's right."
"I agree. It would be great for all of us to unwind and get to know you." "Okay, I will." They were all heading out of the building.
"Hey, Kevin, why don't you take a taxi to the hotel?"
"Why would I do that?"
"Don't tell me you drove here."
"Don't bully Kevin anymore." "But I really did drive to school today."
"Let's all go take a look at his car."
Kevin turned around and walked towards his car without saying another word. A few minutes later, Mike looked at the...
"This is your car?"
Yeah, when the others heard this, their jaws dropped. It was worth at least $3 million. "Please, have a seat, Professor. You must be tired after a long day of teaching." As it turned out, Professor Murdoch had something to say to Kevin, so she accepted his offer and strapped herself into the passenger seat. She suddenly turned to Kevin. "The School for the Healing Arts is the greatest opportunity in your life. This is your chance to make a name for yourself. I'll definitely work harder from now on. But could you please give me my phone back first? I promise I won't take it out during class. If you want your phone back, you'll have to earn it." Kevin was perplexed. The entire Williams family was waiting patiently in the main room of their mansion in New York. Randall Williams had ordered them all to be there for an emergency meeting. Anyone who was late would immediately be expelled from the family. This was the first time something like this had ever happened in the Williams family. He must have had something urgent to announce. After a little while, Grandpa Williams walked into the room with Thomas by his side.
"I've decided that we all need to work on ourselves, not only with training, but with the help of advanced herbal medication. But there's one thing that all of you must remember. If anyone dares to leak a word of this, I'll show them no mercy. And to achieve our goals, we're going to join the Myriads." The entire room got so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. "The Myriads are a pretty nasty bunch. Do you really want us to join them?" "You're right. But we really have no choice. This is the only path we can take. We have to present a unified front and support my father. I'll do what Grandpa wants.
Monty's relationship with his wife Hannah had ended because of the fight with Dalton. Now all he wanted was to cause Kevin as much pain as he'd given him. More and more of them came forward to support Grandpa Williams' decision to join the Myriads.
Then it's settled.
Then he motioned for everyone to leave. After they'd all gone, Randall Williams pulled out his phone and called Seth Roundtree's number. As soon as the call was connected, he told Roundtree that his family was willing to join the Myriads. While this was going on, Kevin was pulling up to the Whistler Hotel with Professor Murdoch. He parked in the VIP area and walked in with her.
Hi, we're going to need your largest private room.
Good evening, sir. Our largest private room is the VIP room. Please show us your VIP membership card and we'll get things set up right away.
What kind of rule is that? I don't have a membership card and I'm not from around here. All we need is a room. I don't care how much it costs, I'm willing to cover it.
I'm sorry, sir. Our largest private room is only available for our most exclusive members. Also, the hotel's owner must be present when someone applies for the card. Today, Mr. Cook is attending to some business and isn't on the property. So you can only apply for a basic membership card at the moment. The application fee is $25,000. While Mike was trying to resolve his dilemma, Penny Sutherland walked up to him and suggested, "Why don't I call Mr. Cook for you?" Before she came to Chicago to attend school, her family had given her the contact information for all the famous people in the city. Unfortunately, the call didn't go through. Just then, Kevin walked up to the front desk. He took a card out of his wallet. "Let's see if I can help open up the VIP room for this nice group of students."
I've had enough of you. I'm getting tired of looking at you.
There were only 5 cards like this in all of Chicago, and they were only given to the hotel's most prestigious clients. Kevin handed his card. "Sir, is this card really yours?" "This is the card Mr. Cook gave me. Is there a problem with it?" "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know you had a VIP card. Please accept my apologies for this misunderstanding. Can you please open the private room now?" "Of course. We'll take care of that right away." The head server came down a few minutes later to lead the group up to the top floor.
"It's my treat. Get whatever you want."
When the food and drinks were carried out to the tables, Mike stood up to give everyone a toast. As he raised his glass, he glanced down at the bill.
$300,000 for 15 bottles of wine?
Mike said to himself. Then Lionel made an announcement. "Hey, everyone, I think we should just elect Mike student leader right now so we can save ourselves the time tomorrow in class." The students all seemed to agree with him. Professor Murdoch stayed out of the discussion. While this was going on, Mike took Lionel aside and asked him to go down to his car and bring back a red gift box that he'd left in the trunk. Lionel came back a few minutes later and handed it to his friend. Then Mike carried the box over to Professor Murdoch.
"Please accept this small gift from me, Professor."
"I'm sorry, Mike, but it's just not appropriate." But before she could finish what she was saying, Mike opened the box. There was a cream-colored pill inside.
"This is an augmentation pill, and it can help you really increase your power and mental focus."
If this was really an augmentation pill, then she had no choice but to accept it from Mike.
"Please accept it, Professor Murdoch."
"Since you insist, I really have no choice. Professor Murdoch, you can't take that pill. This isn't an augmentation pill. I can guarantee that if you take this pill, it will definitely do you a lot of harm."
"You're jealous that I can get a pill like this and you can't."
An augmentation pill is more of a light blue color. Plus it contains some floral ingredients which gives it a beautiful fragrance. It's obviously the wrong color and has no fragrance at all. Professor, if you believe me, you'll give this pill back to Mike. But if you don't believe me, then go right ahead and take the pill." "Kevin, you must have misunderstood what Mike said. I can clearly see that there's nothing wrong with this pill." "Did you hear what Professor Murdoch just told you? With all that stuff you were saying earlier, it turns out you don't know anything. You were just pretending to be some kind of expert to get a little attention. How pathetic."
"Some people have no idea what they're talking about."
Mike sneered at Kevin. Then he turned and looked at Professor Murdoch.
"Go ahead and take the pill right now. Don't let Kevin's jealousy stop you."
She nodded in agreement and swallowed the pill. On his way back to the VIP room, Kevin saw Mike standing by the stairs with Luther and Lionel. They seemed to be discussing something in a low voice. Out of curiosity, Kevin quietly walked over and listened to them.
I was planning to drop a few thousand on the dinner at most, but I never expected the Whistler Hotel to be this expensive. Dinner's almost over. If I don't pay the bill, I'll be up the creek and this will have all been for nothing. Hey, Mike, I think I got an idea. I just don't know if you'll be too embarrassed to try it. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't keep us waiting. It's simple. Lionel and I will keep toasting you. After a while, you'll pretend to be drunk and pass out. The class is full of rich people who can afford to foot the bill. What do you think? It's true they can afford it, but who's carrying around $300,000 on a school night?
But isn't Penny here? Her family's loaded. $300,000 would be a drop in the bucket for her. If you're out of it, I'm sure she'll help out. When Kevin heard this, he quickly headed back to the VIP room. As he got to the door, Penny was walking out. Kevin came up with a plan of his own. As Penny brushed against him, he used the light touch that he'd learned about in the secret guide and took her phone and wallet. When Kevin returned to his seat and sat down, Mike and his two buddies were just walking into the room. Luther and Lionel really put on an act for everyone.
What the heck? Is Mike drunk?
No way. Mike can handle it. It's late, Mike. Wake up. Time to go. But Mike didn't move. Wow, Mike's really out of it. What's the damage? $360,000 after the discount, of course. The students were all in shock when they heard him say that. Even though they were all from wealthy families, they'd never squandered their money like this. I can't believe we ate that much. I promised Mike I'd help him with the bill, but that's a lot of money. Why don't I pay the bill? She casually reached into her bag to get her wallet. Penny's face froze as she rooted through her bag and discovered that her wallet and even her phone were missing. Finally, Mike decided to stop pretending to be asleep.
I'm sorry, everybody. I just had a little too much wine and accidentally fell asleep. It's getting late. Why don't you all head home? I'll take care of the bill. See you in class.
Mike phoned his father, Wyatt Tripp. He was a well-known import-export tycoon in Detroit. He figured it was better to be scolded by his father than to be embarrassed in front of his entire class. Kevin took out his books on herbal medicine to figure out what kind of pill Professor Murdoch had taken. Based on the color and smell of the pill Mike had given her, Kevin was able to find it in his materials. It was a neutralization pill. Fortunately, it wouldn't be fatal to her. However, it would severely diminish any progress that she'd already made in her physical and mental training. His thoughts were interrupted by an unfamiliar ringtone. By reflex, he answered the call. Hello, are you Kevin? The young woman turned out to be Penny's best friend, Mackenzie Knott. What's going on? What are you doing with Penny's phone? That sounds like you're accusing me of something. How do you know Penny didn't just lose her phone and I found it? I don't care if you found it or stole it, just give it back to her tomorrow. Early the next morning, Kevin drove to campus with Lily. As soon as he walked into the classroom, he broke into a grin. Meriwether, what are you doing here?
Why, Kevin, what brings you here?
Meriwether looked at Kevin and suddenly felt very depressed. This guy had already beaten him up twice at the Jones family mansion and then in prison. Why couldn't he get rid of the guy?
Why do I keep running into you?
What did you say? Just as Kevin was about to say something else, he smelled a strong perfume in the air. Before he could react, Penny was standing in front of him. Do you have my phone? Give it back to me right now. Great. I found it on the way out of the Whistler Hotel last night, and I was wondering whose it was, but everybody had already left. My phone is always in my bag unless I'm talking on it. So tell me again, where did you pick it up? I've already explained it to you clearly, Penny. Don't think you can bully me just because you're from a wealthy family. I may be poor, but I'd never steal anything.
Even if you didn't steal her phone, that's no reason to threaten her. How'd you like to end up down at the police station? Call the police? You've really underestimated Kevin. He's already done time. Why don't you ask him what for?
Everyone heard the sound of footsteps coming down the hall toward the classroom. Professor Murdoch walked in carrying a book.
You got here just in time, Professor Murdoch. Kevin stole Penny's phone yesterday, but he's trying to tell us that he just found it at the Whistler Hotel.
Mike, that's nothing to be joking about. You know that this school doesn't tolerate that kind of behavior, but I believe that Kevin would never do something like that. Now everyone go back to your seats. I have something exciting to tell you. As you probably recall, there was serious flooding in our state a while back, and a lot of the victims are still in need of assistance. Our school has always believed in helping the less fortunate. So last night, the administration decided to organize a fundraising event with each class forming a team. Whichever class has the most donations will receive a generous reward from the school. The students all started pulling out their phones. Just to show off, Mike immediately donated $60,000.
Did you see that, Kevin? You still think I don't have any money? How could someone who's short on cash donate 60 grand?
Professor Murdoch, could you please return my phone to me? I want to make a donation too. She took a long look at Kevin and then took his phone out of her briefcase. I'll return it to you, but you have to listen to me carefully. First of all, from now on, as long as you're in class, you can't take your phone out. If I catch you doing it again, you'll never get it back. Second, from now on, you have to be on your best behavior in school. Kevin didn't say anything. He just entered the fundraising information into his phone and returned to his seat.
Quick, take a look at the donation website.
They could all see that someone had just donated $500,000. And the name next to the donation was Kevin. You said I was so poor I had to steal a phone? Then tell me how many phones you could buy for $500,000.
What is there for you to be proud of when you're just spending your wife's money? Anyway, my father's the one who gave me my money, and I won't get scolded when I get home.
Then Mike pulled out his phone and donated $500,000 to the fundraiser.
Let's see if you can match that with your wife's money.
Wow, Mike, it looks like you're really rich. Are you sure you are in the mood to compete with me? Kevin shot back. Then he took out his phone and donated $1 million to the fundraiser. Aren't you going to match my donation, Mike? Remember, it's for the disaster victims. Mike got so angry that he punched Kevin in the shoulder. I can forgive you for insulting me, but do you expect to get away with hitting me? Kevin growled as he grabbed Mike's wrist with one hand and slapped him hard on the cheek with the other. Kevin, how can you do that? Come to my office. Kevin wondered what was going on. He followed her into her office and stood there quietly. Kevin, private fights are strictly prohibited here. If you dare to strike anyone again, you'll be severely punished. Are you feeling okay? You don't seem as strong today as you usually do. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep and my body hasn't had a chance to recover yet. You're lying to yourself, Professor. There's no need to do that with me. If I'm right, you'll have lost all your progress within 3 days, and you'll never be able to get it back, no matter what you try. Are you trying to scare me? Since you don't believe me, I don't know what else I can say, but please remember what I said, Professor. There are only 3 days left at most. If you change your mind in the next couple of days, just give me a call. I have a way to solve your problem. While this was going on, Randall Williams was in his New York mansion having coffee with Seth Roundtree.
Mr. Williams, by joining the Myriads, you've made a wise decision for your family. I'll take you tonight to meet with the senior members. That way we'll all be clear about what we can expect from each other in this relationship. I'd like to talk to you about the herbal meds for my family. Don't worry, I have plenty of pills for you. Tonight I'll ask my people to let you have some of the construction pills. Take this as my gift to your family to commemorate your acceptance into the Myriads.
Kevin had already moved way beyond the basic moves that were being demonstrated in the class, so he found a shady spot and lay down on the ground where he could watch the rest of the students practice. Suddenly, Lily walked up to him holding 2 bottles of water. "Sweetie, do you want some water?" Lily sat down right next to Kevin and put her head on his shoulder. Just then, another beautiful woman walked over to Kevin. Phoebe Anderson handed Kevin a bottle of water and gave him a pleasant smile. "You must be thirsty, Kevin." "I'm very flattered, Miss Anderson. Don't forget that I still owe you a meal. When are you free?" "I've got tons of free time. Just say when." Just as he was about to say something to change the subject, he heard a firm voice telling him to have some more water. "What's this about, Penny?" Phoebe was starting to feel very uneasy. She was already in competition with Lily, and now there was someone new she had to deal with. But Lily was getting even more nervous. She knew exactly who Penny was. She was from the most important family in the city, and she was also very attractive. Lily had promised herself not to let anyone try to break up her relationship with Kevin. So she held Kevin's hand. "Hubby, your classmate's offer sounds wonderful. Why don't you come along too, Phoebe?" Just as Kevin was about to nod his head and agree to the plan, a sharp sword suddenly flew toward them from nearby. He reached out and snatched the sword. With all these people around, you could kill someone.
I'm really sorry about that. It accidentally slipped out of my hand while I was practicing.
He was Frank Carter, one of the martial arts instructors at the School for the Healing Arts.
I'll try to pay attention next time.
Then Frank turned around and walked away. "So it's a plan. Let's all go out and have dinner tonight." Okay. Right then, a stone hit Lily really hard on the shoulder and she winced in pain.
Sorry, Lily. The students asked me to demonstrate a throwing technique and it got away from me. Did it hurt a lot? I can show you a special massage.
He started to reach out to touch her shoulder, but Lily pulled back. Kevin grabbed his wrist. "Apologize to my wife immediately or you'll regret it." Sherwin Blair squeezed through the crowd. "Frank's our martial arts teacher, you goof. Do you have any idea how much trouble you're getting into?
If you want to fight with me, that's what you'll get."
Then he picked up a sword and pointed it right at Kevin. Just as Kevin was about to attack, Professor Murdoch walked over to them and chastised Frank. "Do you think it's right to bully students?"
We were just messing around, Professor. Everything's under control.
Professor Murdoch looked at them all one by one. Finally, her gaze stopped on Kevin. "Come with me. I've got something to tell you." When they got to Professor Murdoch's office, she informed him, "You've earned your reward. The high donor for the fundraiser receives a reward from the school. Your reward will be to have access to the library's special collections annex. The books from the 11th to the 13th floor are extremely rare. They're the only copies in existence. I myself don't even know what's contained in them. Do you mean I can enter the top 3 floors? That's right. You can go anywhere from the 11th to the 13th floors and you can stay there for 10 hours. I'll take you over there right now." A few minutes later, they bumped into Penny. "I'm sorry, Penny. Professor Murdoch and I have some things to deal with, so I'm afraid I'll have to take a rain check on our dinner," Kevin explained apologetically. "That's okay. The two of them eventually made it to the 11th floor. I can't go any higher than this. Please be careful not to damage any of the books you find here. I'll wait for you down on the 10th floor." Kevin took a deep breath and slowly opened the door to the 11th floor. What the hell is going on? There's absolutely nothing here. The 11th floor was definitely very empty. Not even a scrap of paper, let alone a collection of arcane tomes containing the secrets of herbal medicine. The only piece of furniture was a big white table. He ran his palm across the surface of the table. That's when he realized there was an enormous touchscreen built into the desktop. As the screen lit up, he heard a voice from a hidden speaker talk to him. "Kevin Williams, freshman student, has permission to enter the library's special collections. Confirm with a DNA blood marker test." There was a sterile lancet that he could use to prick his finger and put a drop of blood on a test strip. He inserted the strip in a container that got sucked into the table. After a few minutes, the screen showed that Kevin had been recognized and a light came on over a door that he hadn't noticed when he came in. When Kevin pushed the door open, he saw several display cases containing antique books. "Now that I've been using the book I got from Marshall's office, and ever since the Night King gave me his training and his dagger, none of these books have anything new for me," so he started heading towards the 12th and 13th floors. While this was going on, the Williams family was in their New York mansion starting to practice the techniques in the instruction manual that Roundtree had given Grandpa Williams. There were 49 of them gathered together to learn the secrets of the myriads.
You have to aim even higher. The myriads will deliver the pills to us this evening. You need to wait by the door and be very careful. We can't make any mistakes.
Just as Thomas was about to ask him another question, someone rushed over to Randall and told him that Renee Silver had just arrived. She was the director of a large organization called the Union.
Thomas, please show her to the backyard where everyone's practicing. She absolutely hates groups like the Myriads. If she knew our family had joined them, we'd never hear the end of it. So don't say a word about it."
Thomas nodded in agreement. Randall Williams headed for the front door.
"It's always a pleasure to have you here. Please come in.
Is your family training together now?"
We had no choice. Our family was in financial difficulties and nearly went bankrupt because of one of my grandchildren. It's Kevin, Alan's son. He's become quite powerful and he has some very shady friends.
"Don't worry, Randall. If I run into him, I'll make sure that he never causes your family any problems ever again." But she still hadn't told Randall the real reason for her visit. Kevin was exploring the top floors of his school's library. He'd made it to the top floor where, in a corner of the room, he found a blood-red book on improving your cardiac health. The next morning, Lily was sitting on the sofa looking really sad. Dorothy came downstairs dressed in a very fancy outfit and saw Lily sitting on the couch looking miserable. "Mom, are you going out to gamble again? I don't mean to upset you, but we're kind of short on cash. Can you try not to gamble so much?" Just when Lily was about to try and convince her mother not to go out, the doorbell rang.
"What's wrong? Aren't I welcome in your home?"
"Of course you're welcome. Please, come in and have a seat."
"I didn't expect you to be able to buy such a nice home after leaving the family. Did you find yourself a rich man to take care of you?"
"If you don't want to stay, you know where the door is. I invited Grandma to come in, not you."
"Lily, I know that Jason and I have caused you a lot of pain. Please accept my sincere apologies for that. But I'm here on behalf of the entire family to ask for your help. As a member of the Jones family, you can't let us get wiped out." "Oh, so now that you need help, we're back in the family? You didn't seem to care about our name when you kicked us out."
"Mom, please don't say anything else. What's past is past. How can I help the family, Grandma?"
"Well, how much money do you have right now? We'll need you to transfer all of it to the family. We'll cover the rest. That's the only way we'll be able to overcome this crisis."
"If you think that's an unreasonable request, we can give you some of the Jones Corporation shares."
"You've really got some nerve saying that."
"That's enough, Mom. Let's let bygones be bygones. I promise to help the family. Tomorrow I'll arrange for the transfer of funds." The main reason Lily had decided to do this was actually her own mother. She still had about $6 million left in the bank. If she didn't withdraw, Dorothy would probably lose it anyway. When Lily's phone rang, she and Rachel were right in the middle of the mall. "Are you back from campus, Kevin?"
"Yes, I am. Where are you right now?"
"We're in the middle of that new outdoor mall along Halstead."
"Stay right where you are. Don't move an inch. I'm right by the entrance and I'm heading your way."
Kevin wasn't aware of it, but at that very moment, Officer Emmett was walking through the same crowd. A man walked up to her and asked her if she wanted to come over to his kiosk.
"Would you like to have your palm read, ma'am?"
"Sorry, I'm not interested."
"Why don't you just give me a few minutes of your time? I'll bet you really want to believe, Kelly."
"How did you know my first name is Kelly?"
"I can see far into the past and even farther into the future.
Knowing your name is really quite simple."
"That's pretty impressive. Please read my fiancé's palm for her. I'll pay you whatever you want."
They walked over to his kiosk and Officer Emmett sat down across from Professor Futurioso. Then he pulled a deck of tarot cards out of his puffy sleeve. He drew the cards and placed them on the little table between them.
"I see here that your career isn't going as well as you'd hoped, but you have someone very generous in your life. But something has brought disaster into your life. It looks like you need to make an immediate change so that your life and career can get back on track.
Then what should I do?"
"It seems to me that this is the man who will bring you that happiness. You're destined to be together."
Blair thought that the moment was right to make his move. He got down on one knee and pulled out a small velvet jewelry box.
"Kelly, we've been together for such a long time. Will you marry me?"
She looked at Blair, who was still kneeling on the ground, and she was so touched that she didn't know what to say. But then Officer Emmett turned her head and saw a familiar face in the crowd. "Kevin, wait a second. I have something to talk to you about. Have you been looking for me? I wanted to ask you if you happen to have a power pill on you." "What a coincidence! We can't seem to get rid of you, can we?" I thought that a law enforcement officer would have more sense than to believe in tarot readings. "You guys go ahead and have fun. I'm going to look for my wife." "Hey, don't be in such a hurry to leave. This guy's pretty good. Don't you want to find out what he has to say about your future?"
Don't be angry, young man. I'll do your reading for free. I hope you're not the fool that showed up in Kelly's reading. You do realize that as long as you stay in contact with Kelly, you'll only bring her bad luck. In addition, you won't have any good fortune in your own life either. You'll be forced to spend the rest of your life mooching off your wife's family.
So, you're really that good, are you? Since you're so skilled, did you see that today would turn into a complete disaster for you? Then Kevin shoved the man, sending him sprawling on the sidewalk in front of his kiosk.
Young man, you're letting your temper get the best of you, and now you're ignoring some very useful advice. If you don't change your ways now, you'll never get control of your violent urges.
Hi, Kevin here. If you're wondering what happens next, then stay tuned on the Pocket FM Universe channel for more episodes.